This is a weird one. I personally think he goes back to Charlotte, and I believe they can do a 1+1 where then they get his early bird rights. So they kind of do a deal where it's like maybe a 1+1 for 40 million. So a 2-year deal, 40 million, but the second year is a player option. So first year's 20 million, second year 40 million. And the cool thing about this is, let's say if they sign him to a $20 million deal, they're actually only paying 19.3, which is against the cap because about 700,000 of that dollars is being suspended because of the suspension. So he's actually not a full cap hit if you sign because he misses the first 10 games of the season. Now, we assume that Miles Bridges is going to come back and look like the player we once saw a year ago. But we've heard today that the Cleveland Cavaliers are very much interested and are in the runnings to sign Miles Bridges. Now, your thoughts right here. What do you think of Miles Bridges? Is this a guy that you would go out and sign? Do you think it is worth taking him on? He did plead no contest to the charges he faced last year for domestic violence. We've discussed that before. And again, that's, off the court stuff. We're talking on the court productivity right here. What is your thoughts right here? Do you think he's somebody worth investing in? And is he going to be a guy that stays with Charlotte, or do you think he leaves Charlotte?
I think he stays with Charlotte for sure. 20 points per game. Sheesh. Pretty crazy. He played 80 games that year too. I don't think he fits in Cleveland, really. I mean, if you want to play in the 4.
What do you mean? I think he would be perfect in Cleveland. He'd be your small forward, bro, or he could be your 4.
I think he's more of a bruiser. I think I'd prefer him at the 4. So I think I'd prefer him in Charlotte either way. I think it just makes sense in Charlotte.
This is a guy. What?
The off the court issues probably turns the whole league away.
I don't think so. Now that everything's been resolved and that he's already been suspended, he only has to serve 10 games, so he'll be able to play 72 games, which means he'll be available to qualify for awards. This is one of the most athletic players in the league, okay? And he's got this wide size, 6'6", with I think a near wingspan of, I believe, 6'10" on a 6'6" frame. He's nearly 230 pounds. Okay, dude, the guy can absolutely soar through the sky when he gets down in the lane. He can get downhill with the best of them. This guy, last time we saw him, was a borderline all-star, maybe even borderline all-NBA, depending on how you see it. This guy's gotten better as a ball handler every single season. He's a high-volume scorer, high-volume three-point shooter, and he's improving as a 3-level scorer. And he took a huge leap the last time we saw him. And yeah, his career's on hold due to, what has happened. But I really think this is a guy that Charlotte could get a great deal. Whatever team signs him is going to get him at a discount. Yes, what he did was terrible. What has happened is terrible. But again, that is off the court issues. It has been resolved. Teams want to win basketball. If he can play winning basketball, winning solves everything. As dark and as morbid as that sounds, that is how realistic this world we live in. I think it's in that whatever team that signs him, sign him long term. If he tries to tell you, let me sign a 1+1 so I can retest next year, you guys can re-sign me, you get first dibs if you match the contract. Fuck no. Let's give you that long-term deal and we'll have it with incentives to escalate, okay?
What long-term deal are you giving him?
He was looking at before that it was a 4-year, $120 million was what he was looking at last year.
It's ridiculous. He's not even going to sniff.
That was starting last year. That was starting offers. He was looking at 4 years, 120.
Oh. And then he didn't play.
Well, he got you remember this happened June 27th, and free agency started on June 30th, so 3 days before free agency. Yeah, Shade. He is not in prison. He was not. He pled no contest.
He's at basketball games.
Yeah, he's on probation. Has I think it was like 400 or 500 hours of community service. And Kelly Oubre, yes, is unlikely to return to Charlotte, which means Miles Bridges is cleared for there. What is your thoughts right here after me rambling for a long minute on Miles Bridges? Do you think he stays in Charlotte? Do you think a contender takes it up? We know teams like the Spurs and Pacers have a lot of money, and goddamn, if the Spurs come out of nowhere and get him for a steal, imagine Devin Vassell, Miles Bridges, Keldon Johnson, Victor Wembanyama, Jeremy Sohan, and whoever the hell plays point guard.
Miles Bridges will never play for the San Antonio Spurs, but I don't know. He's not getting 4 years, $120 million. That's crazy. I wouldn't pay this man long term at all. I haven't seen him play basketball in over a year, and I've seen 1 year where he averaged 20 points and 7 rebounds. So he had one good year. That's just too much money. But they were interested in it last free agency, so I get why you would want to long-term contract him, but I think it might be a little too complicated. I don't really know what his value is. I don't.
So where do you think he goes? If you had to take a guess,
Charlotte.
You think he stays in Charlotte?
Yeah.
Alrighty.